In this video, we're going to learn how to set background images. First of all, we're going to go to our HTML project folder and copy the image folder from there to the CSS folder. Okay. So now we're going to set a background image to the Facebook div. But first of all, let's change a little bit the dimensions. Let's set the height to 100 pixels. Okay, that looks good. Now, rather than having a background color, we want a background image. So the syntax is pretty easy. Background image. And now we're gonna refer to the location of the image using the URL property, and we're gonna go to images, and we want to choose picture.jpg. Okay. Now we can see that the background of Facebook has got the picture we selected. But the problem is the dimensions are not very good for us. So now we want to scale the image so that it fits exactly the Facebook div. So one way of doing that is by using the background size. And now we're going to set the width and the height using percentages. So if we set the width to 100% and then the height to 100%, so that means that the picture new size is going to fit exactly the size of the div. Okay. If we set that to 50% and 50%, we can see that the size of the image is actually 1/4 of the overall size of the div, and it's repeated 4 times. If we don't want the image to be repeated, then there is another property. It's the background repeat, and we can set that to no repeat. So there are other options that you can choose, repeat X, repeat Y, etc. But if we choose no repeat, then the picture is not going to be repeated. Okay. All right. So let's go back to 100%. 100%. Okay. That looks good. Now, there is another property, is the background origin. So let's try that. Okay. So there are several choices there. The default choice is that the image has got an origin starting from the border box, which is our case now. So the border is there. So if the image starts from there, you can see it as we are seeing it now. If the image starts from the contents box, which is the paragraph, the Facebook paragraph, then the image is going to start from here. Let's try that. So if we set it to content box, now the image starts from there. Okay. And all the dimensions are going to be related to the dimensions of the content box. Okay. Okay. Now let's move to the Apple div and do the same thing. So we're going to choose a background image rather than a background color. So background image, and we're going to select the locations of the image. Okay. First, let's change the height as well to 100 pixels. And now let's set the background size. This time, rather than using a percentage, we're gonna choose an actual size. So let's go for 100 pixels by 100 pixels. So you can see that the image takes exactly a size of 100 pixels by 100 pixels. If we want the image to not repeat, we're just gonna go again, background repeats, no repeats. Okay. And now, okay, let's try again the background origin. So if we go for border box, it's not going to change anything because that's by default. The image origin is the border box. Now we're going to try something new. We're going to set the position of the image. So to do that, we're going to use the background position. And there are several choices there. So the position is going to tell where the image is going to go. So is it going to go to the left, right, top, bottom, or center of the div? Okay, so if we choose, for instance, the top of the div, so we can see that's the image. Well, first of all, the origin is the border box, and it's going to be centered at the top. If we choose bottom, then it's going to be centered at the bottom, and so on. Okay. And now, if we go back to left, so it's going to be centered at the left. Okay. And we can play with the dimensions of the image. If we want to, for instance, have an image right on the left of the Apple text. So if we forget about the background position and we change the background size to 50 by 50 pixels, for example, we can play with that so that we can have the image right next to the text, and we will see a little bit more how to use this way of doing when we're doing projects. Okay.